Hello, Karoo. It is Monday the 8th of September, I think, or of January. January. And the air temperature outside, according to my thermometer here, is 32, so 0 degrees centigrade. It has been spitting snow this morning. I watched your video yesterday, and let me just say that I was a little bit perplexed and confused by your some of the things you were talking about. For instance, what is the change in the status of your roastery? Have you been purchased by a conglomerate of some sort? Do you have a partner? It is unclear to me what's going on, and you haven't shared any information about that previously, so I was totally unable to parse what you were talking about, which is fine. I am glad, however, to hear that everyone is feeling more healthy than they have been previously in your previous video. Oh, let's see, what else? There was some other stuff you were talking about. Sitting in the river. I can't remember what you were talking about now. Obviously, I'm rambling. So we were up in Colfax for the weekend. We went up because, ostensibly, Mom and Dad are in a book club, and they read one of Sarah's books, so they asked Sarah to come up and talk to their book club, which consists of 5 different couples, I think. Unfortunately, only 3 of the 5 couples were there for the talk, but it was still fun. Actually, it was really cool because we sat around Linda's and we popped up some video clips of flying the drone over Wales on Linda's TV, and then Sarah also had some PowerPoint slides, but she used them. She didn't have a structured talk. She just basically answered questions, and she used the PowerPoint slides, only when it was helpful to clarify. So like pictures of maps or timelines, that sort of thing. So that was a really nice evening, and of course we ate pie and basically had a good time hanging around with some folks there. We also actually, obviously, got to hang out with my parents, which is always a plus. And Taryn was headed back to school, so he came up. He didn't come up with us. He came up later in the day on Friday. So that's what we were doing up in Pullman. You asked about running, and it's complicated. So I actually, I have run several times since we spoke last. And I kind of took your advice, and I started. So what I've been doing is working out on the exercise machine and getting nice and warm, and doing 35 minutes on the exercise machine so that I'm nice and lathered up, and then going out for a short run. And I've been running about, I think it's like 0.8 of a mile is what it works out to. I just run a few blocks around in the neighborhood. And I had done that a couple times before we went to Pullman, or Colfax, as the case may be. And then I came back today and did it again, and and it had been working. My calves had been feeling better, and then I did it today, and my left calf again hurt. It's like, and it's not actually. I don't think it's even the calf muscle. It's the muscle below the calf, and it just was. The last 2 blocks of the run, that left calf just, it's like initially it's just a tiny twinge. It's not really a knot. I don't know how to describe it. But then, I can tell, and it doesn't actually even hurt that much while I'm running. But then it lingers and it feels like a muscle pull after I get back. And it's not horrible, but it's also not sustainable. It's like one of those things that I really can't run on it, because then it feels that way. Well, right now it still feels that way. Sarah and I went for a walk after I ran this morning, so we walked 2 miles, and that's okay, but it just is kind of, I don't know, it's a pain in the ass. That's what it is. And honestly, I was telling Sarah, so it's funny because Sarah is loving running. So she's run, I think, basically every day since she started going again. And woohoo! And now she's actually, up to 3 miles a day, pretty much. And she's running around in downtown Pendleton and having a really good time. Oh, this is actually really nice because it's spitting snow just a little bit. But so she's running every day, and she just loves it. It's just, she comes back in the morning and she's happy and she's smiling and she feels really good. And I run and I hate it. I hate running. I don't enjoy it at all. I get out there and I run. I spend the whole time, I feel like I'm fighting myself while I run. I'm not comfortable. And, I'm glad that I'm, like, those muscles that got sore the first time I ran, I don't know, a month ago now or whatever. So I've probably run a total of 10 times in the last month, if that, maybe 8. And it just reminds me how much I've always hated running. I mean, like distance running. I just don't. And I always used to say, I don't know if you remember this, but I always used to say, I only run if I'm chasing something or something's chasing me. And that genuinely is how I've always felt. I've never enjoyed running. And I'm still not enjoying it at all. And granted, these constant muscle issues are not good. But even, there were periods of time when I ran, 3 or 4 times a week for months at a time. And I just never liked it. I did it because I wanted to be in shape for soccer. I did it, for, the right reasons, but it was never something I enjoyed. And I'm going to try to keep doing this just because I want those muscles to be in shape. But honestly, it kind of sucks, and we'll see. Hopefully I can find a rhythm where I can run, a little bit every day. But it's just never fun. I don't know if I told you this before. I was telling Sarah this, I think, recently, but when the summer before Sarah and I got married, and I had finished, my second year playing at South Puget Sound Community College soccer, and Arno called me up and asked me if I'd play for Evergreen that fall. And he called me during the summer, and it was like 2 weeks before they were starting summer practices, and he needed a backup goalkeeper, so I was going to be that guy. And so I turned out, and the first practice was a 6-mile run, just to see what kind of shape we're in. And I told him I hadn't been working out at all, really. But I was still able to go out and run. And what I did was I stayed with the other goalkeeper, the whole time. And I ended up finishing like in the middle of the whole team, because that's where he happened to finish. And I was just like, I'm going to run with him. And so we ran 6 miles, and I was able to stay with him. And it wasn't fun, but it wasn't like I wasn't miserable. And that's always kind of how oh, there goes my camera turned off for some reason. I'm going to go see if I can turn it back on. So you're going to end up with a black spot here. Maybe I'll cut in some drone footage, because I have been flying the drone. So let's see. Boom. Oh. Is it recording again? Yeah, it's recording again. So, but anyway, I ran. I've always been able to run and kind of do what had to be done, but like I said, I've never really enjoyed it. And I've always really enjoyed, and what would be ideal for me, actually, would be if I continued working out on the machine to keep my cardio up, and maybe played soccer or something like that. If I could play indoor soccer 3 days a week for an hour, that would be kind of perfect, I think. But I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to have tea with coffee or tea with Rocky sometime this week. Maybe I'll talk to him about it. But yeah. Anyway, so I've been blathering on about all of that now for a while. So trip to Mexico. I am looking forward to that. It looks like the lights flashing, but anyway, trip to Mexico. I'm looking forward to that. I'd be happy to go to whatever the little village that you're talking about is with you. I'm not sure I want to do a lot of other things. I'm going to try to bring some books and do some reading, actually. There's a couple things I want to read that have kind of been on my radar. So I'm going to do that. The morning routine sounds great. And, that'll keep us busy until, 10 or 11 every morning. Sarah was saying that she's happy to come into town pretty regularly and do breakfasts after our swims. But she'll have to talk with Beth and see what Beth wants to do. So I am looking forward to that. I suspect I will do walks while you swim, but I might do a little running. We'll see. I mean, Sarah's going to want to run. She actually was talking about actually looking at the map and figuring out runs she wanted to do. Anyway, I probably should get out because the light's been flashing, but I'm actually really enjoying this soak today. It is spitting like snow or freezing rain. We're right on the edge. Actually, I didn't check to see what the water temperature was, but I imagine it's around 41 based on past patterns. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.